Welcome back, my dear students. In this video, we will be discussing about some more properties of inverse of a linear operator, especially a classic result which establishes the inverse of a composition. So, the lemma which deals with inverse product or composition. Let t from x to y and s from y to z be bijective linear operators where x comma y comma z are vector spaces. Then then the inverse st inverse is a function from z to x of the product. Here product means actually composition. Composition function exists and st the whole inverse is equal to t inverse s inverse. So st inverse is the composition of t inverse and s inverse. So the theorem is if t from x to y and s from y to z be two bijective linear operators, which means that t inverse exists and s inverse also exists, where x comma y comma z are vector spaces. So T inverse and S inverse exist. Then the inverse of the composition ST inverse also exists, and also the ST inverse should be equal to T inverse composition S inverse. So this theorem states that if T and S are two bijective linear operators, or if T and S are linear operators which have an inverse, then its composition ST also has an inverse. And also the inverse of ST can be written as T inverse composition S inverse. So before moving on to the proof part, let's get an idea about the geometry of the statements. So we have it, the first space X, okay, the second space Y, the third space is Z, okay. So T is actually a function from X to Y and S is actually a function from Y to Z. Then its composition its composition is st. S composition T is actually a function from x to z. So st is a function from x to z. Then its inverse st inverse st the whole inverse is a function from z to x. So st the whole inverse is a function from z to x. So this is the idea about the whole thing. Okay. So we have to prove that ST inverse exists and ST inverse should be equal to T inverse composition S inverse. This is the thing which we have to do. And let's move on to the proof part. So the proof is, so given that T and S are bijective, then its composition ST is also bijective. Okay, ST is also a bijective function. So ST is bijective means clearly ST inverse exists because every bijective function has an inverse. So ST inverse actually exists. So the existing part is clear. Now we have to prove that ST the whole inverse is equal to T inverse comma S inverse. Since ST inverse exists, so ST is a function from x2 y x2 is z, sorry, and ST inverse is a function from ST the whole inverse is a function from z to x. Similarly, ST inverse is a function from z to x and xt is a function from x to z. So its composition ST composition ST inverse ST composition ST the whole inverse is a function from z to z. Okay, and also ST inverse composition ST is a function from x to x. So ST inverse exists means if a function has an inverse, then ST composition ST inverse is identity, which we have already proved that is actually ST composite ST inverse is an identity function from Z to Z, which can be stated as IZ, which means identity function from Z to Z. Okay. Now, since S is bijective, we have S inverse S is equal to S is a function from actually Y to Z. S inverse is a function from Z to Y. So S inverse S is a function from Y to Y. Okay, so its composition is actually I Y. Now we have so we move on to this ST composition ST inverse is equal to I. Okay. Now we apply S onto the left hand side of this. Sorry, S inverse onto the left hand side of this. S inverse ST composition is equal to S inverse I. S inverse I is actually S inverse. So this is actually equation number 1. Let's move on to another version. So S inverse ST inverse should be equal to associative property S inverse S comma T ST the whole inverse. S inverse S is actually identity, so it is equal to IT ST the whole inverse. It should be equal to T ST the whole inverse, which is equation number 2. Since the left hand side of equation number 1 and 2 are same, so right hand side should also be same. So we can write it as T ST the whole inverse is equal to S inverse. Now apply T inverse on both sides. Since T inverse exists, T inverse T ST the whole inverse is equal to T inverse S inverse. Which implies T inverse T is actually identity since T inverse exists. So identity composition St the whole inverse is equal to St the whole inverse. Which implies St the whole inverse is equal to T inverse S inverse. So we have proved that St the whole inverse exists and St the whole inverse should be equal to T inverse S inverse. So this is the theorem. So this ends the first section of our discussion. Let's move on to some exercise problems which is for you. So the first question is show that the operators T1, T2, T3, T4 from R square to R square defined by T1 of theta 1, theta 2 is equal to theta 1, comma 0, T2 of theta 1, theta 2 is equal to 0, comma theta 2, T3 of theta 1, theta 2 is equal to theta 2, comma theta 1, T4 of theta 1, theta 2 is equal to alpha theta 1, comma alpha theta 2 are linear, interpret the operators geometrically. We have to prove that these four operators are actually linear. So we have to prove that the linearity condition holds. That's the only thing which we have to prove. Please understood that this is actually of the form, it has two components. So component wise we have to prove. Okay. So this operator can also be represented as theta 1, theta 2 to theta 1, comma 0. So this is the first question. Next question is find the null space of the operators T1, T2, T3, T4. So from that null space, we can easily establish that whether or not T1, T2, T3, T4 are bijective or the inverse exists in each of these cases. So that's a supplementary question for this as well. So the next question is, if the product of two linear operators exists, product means composition, show that its composition is actually linear. So product of two linear operators is again linear, which we have to prove. So the next question is, two operators S and T are actually commute if Ts is equal to St. The composition of S and T and S are always same. So which means that Ts of x is equal to St of x for all x. Now the question is, check whether T1, comma T3 in problem 1 commute. You have to observe that whether or not T1 and T3 of the problem 1 actually satisfies this condition. And also go to page number 91, exercise 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. So these 9 questions are your exercise or assignment questions. Please try to solve. If you have any doubt, please feel free to ask me. We can easily understand and solve these questions. Okay. So I hope you understood all these things. This ends the section 1 regarding linear operators and fundamental properties of linear operators and its inverse.